Okay, hello, welcome. Here again for Last of Us episode 5. This is a great episode. This entire series has been great, which is, it was crazy for me when I first started it. I didn't think it would be this good, but we got another episode, 5 for 5, which is another great episode. Now, before I dive deep into the plot of episode 5 here, I want to talk about some things that I've been sort of neglecting over my reviews, mainly mechanical stuff, mechanical settings, in the sets of the world that they're portraying here in the show, and the music as well, and CGI too, honestly. So let's talk about that. I wanted to talk about mechanically. The sets are all beautiful, all of them, masterpieces. I can believe that they're really showing us this apocalyptic world in this setting, and how did it get this way, and it's all believable. It all makes sense how things have happened in this world. And all the sets are so amazing and great, full of detail. The attention to detail, just like some scenes, not even like minor scenes, about the way characters act and what they do, even like how they handle guns, how they handle each other, how do they handle situations. They're amazing. CGI, even like using CGI is used very sparingly in this show, and when it is used, you can like barely tell it's CGI. That's how great it is. It's really great. Now the music as well. The music has been coming in like from the game. So they got like the original composer who did like the first game, The Last of Us, to come in and do the music, like the nice like background sound from the games that you hear in the show. It's amazing. It's so great how they tie it in too. They're doing a really really good job tying those sounds into the situations our characters find themselves in. I love it so much. I'm super surprised that they could even do that. Like I didn't think they would go that far, but again, their attention to detail is really nice. They're doing a really good job just presenting that aspect of the game into the show, as well as the adaptation wise. Just like these one for one scenes of the game being adapted into the show, and it's literally one for one. The characters are saying, well, almost exactly the same things they said in the game, and just the situations they're in, one for one. It's amazing. They're doing it, generally well. It's not. They're changing some things to better fit the situation of the show, but it's still being done really, really well, generally. So I love it. Now we'll get into this episode now. All right, so we're here. This is a flashback. Now, I thought they would do this, but I thought it would be a sort of different flashback. So this flashback is exactly 10 days before Joel and Ellie first come to their city here in Kansas. Now, what we're seeing here, this is how this is the start of, say, the revolution of the people of Kathleen and what happened. Basically, we get even more like in depth about how why Kathleen is doing what she's doing, and we get some good characterization from her in this episode. It seemed like a lot of people had doubts about like what Kathleen was doing and why she was doing what she was doing, but they explain it all. Like the dialogue in this episode, even just the rest of the series, we always get like the information that we need exactly, right? Just like one thing, we'll get like a character will say something to explain something, and we'll get the reason for that immediately. And it's just very short, very clean pieces of dialogue that will explain. It's exactly what we need. See, like scenes of dialogue that can explain more than one thing. Is really tough to do when you have to write like an entire story. So a piece of dialogue will have like three meanings in with it, and that's pretty amazing to do something like that. And we get that a little bit later, but not the scene. This scene is just like showing us why they are basically killing the Fedra guys. So it's explained that, and it was sort of alluded to in the last episode as well, that Fedra has been doing some like bad shit to the people here in Kansas. They've been killing people, raping people. Basically, they are well, you want to call them Nazis, call them Nazis, right? They're the super fascists of the New World Order of, this, of The Last of Us. So, our titular characters here, this is also, like, tying into why Kathleen wants Henry and Sam so bad. It makes sense, like, for the world they're in. And we're going to get into it. Anyway, so Henry and Sam, they're on the run. Uh, Fedra has basically been opposed by the New Order here, by Kathleen's people, and everyone's on their side by the revolution. So Henry and Sam. Also, this is a change from the games. Sam is not deaf, so Henry's doing a lot of like sign language stuff to him. I'm not sure about like the purpose of this change, other than maybe to make Henry even more protective of Sam. But they could have just done that anyway. Did he need to be deaf for that? I don't know. I don't understand the change there. But it's not hindering to anything about like the plot or our characters. So it's just another way to, I guess, interpret these scenes. And it's weird, but it's all right. All right, it's okay. So we're gonna get through. Henry and Sam are basically running away, trying to find a place to stay. We get a nice scene with Kathleen here. There's some really good dialogue, finding out her motivations, and this is this scene here. So this is pretty interesting. So Kathleen is basically rounded up all these people. It's explained that these people are rats or snitches, and Kathleen's mom, snitches get stitches, boy, an eye for an eye. This is basically really explaining why Kathleen is so ruthless and has been sort of ruthless in the last episode when she killed the doctor. And she's going to do this is how the world works now, right? You guys did this bad thing. Now, we're in control now, and we know we can't trust you, so we have to kill you, and that's the deal. You're basically all dead. Now you can tell me what I want to know, and maybe it won't be as painful, right? She is motivated into really getting what she wants, and it's gonna be explained. I'll just say it now. It could be explained later. The reason why she's so merciless in these scenes is because her brother. We found out that her brother was actually the leader of this revolution against Fedra before her. So, and the reason why she really wants to get Henry and Sam is because Henry did a bad thing. His brother was sick. It was explained that he had leukemia. There was no medicine. The only people that had the medicine were Fedra. So he was the biggest rat of them all. Sold out her brother, and everybody loved her brother. And this is also like a cool parallel between um, Kathleen's character and her brother's character, where her brother is loved by everyone, but he can't make anything change, right? Kathleen is maybe not loved by everyone, but has the motivation to do the things that he can't do, and which is basically take over Fedra, and is exactly what she did after the death of her brother. So that's why she's very particularly angry at Henry and Sam. She wants revenge. She is a villain in this story here. She is a villain, but like a sensible villain, right? Like it makes sense why she's doing the things she wants to do. It's out of revenge, and it's just you did this thing personally to me that hurts me. Now I have the power to change that and hurt you back, and an eye for an eye, essentially, an eye for an eye. So her brother is dead to Fedra. Fedra kills them. She takes over. Now she's rounded up all the rats, and she's gonna kill them basically. And this is a nice like scene where we get to find out where in the last episode we saw the dead bodies, all the dead bird bodies. These are these guys. They tell her. One of them tells her what she wants. Tells her about Henry and Sam and where they might be and who they're in league with. But either way, she still kills all of them anyway. She's taking like drastic measures. Her buddy here, I forget to mention this in the last episode. The guy that's next to her with the beard, I believe is the voice actor for Tommy in the game. Let me just see if I can get a nice image of him. Right there. I believe he is Tommy's voice actor in the game, which is kind of crazy. I didn't know he could be an actor as well. You don't always know that like some voice actors do lots of regular acting too. In most like if you just think of like a voice actor, one of my favorites, I can't pronounce his name. He is the voice of Ben 10. He doesn't do a lot of like physical acting, but he's a really good voice actor. So it's a fun little trivia, it's a fun little thing. So she kills all of them. She has Tommy here burn all of them to death. and that's it's pretty ruthless. We get to see that. Now we switch to Sam and Henry, and what they're basically trying to hide. So they go up into the storehouse that we see in the last episode again, where they're going to be hiding for 10 days, and they're shown by the doctor that Kathleen killed in the last episode. Now she doesn't know. I guess, well, she does know actually. After she captures him, she gets information from him, and then kills him. Obviously, we didn't know that he was in league with Sam and Henry, but now we're getting this new information that yes, they were working together. The doctor was nice to them because, well, he doesn't want, their friends, right? Um, Now they're just loading up on their food and their ammunition. They have no ammunition. They don't have enough food. They only have enough food for 11 days, and they're going to use those 11 days to try and figure out a plan to get out of the city. Now, and this is we get some more nice dialogue where Sam is like asking. Sam knows that Henry is acting scared, and it's making everybody nervous. It's making everybody more tense. So we get these nice scenes where they're gonna they're gonna come together and like, listen, we can be less stressful. Let's think of a way to escape, and maybe we can find a way out of here, and we can be safe. Sam is this is his like superhero drawing, and it's another parallel after the last episode where we see him with the paint. We'll get that like right now in the next scene. Before then, we get a little time skip. Sam and Henry don't really know what happened to the doctor, but they can assume he died. And it's been 10 days now. They have a bunch of crayons, and Sam's been drawing on the walls, and his so this is all in the game as well. Well, not the storehouse scene here, but like Sam's character, how he likes to draw the superhero thing. Sam talks in the games. It's just slightly different, but I don't understand the change of why we had to make him deaf and no sign language. So this is important though. So now we're 10 days. So this is the day that Joel and Ellie come in. They're gonna leave the hideout because they have nowhere to go really, and they also know that the doctor is not coming back because it's been so long and he hasn't like been around. So they're gonna go away and hide. They're gonna run away, find a new place to be. This is where Henry and Count they hear the gunshots of the Kansas City guys attacking Joel and Ellie, and Henry's just watching it go down. And it's a pretty rough scene where he's like, "Holy shit, maybe this is our way out. Maybe this guy can help us because an enemy of my enemy is my friend." Right now, they're not. Joel and Ellie aren't enemies to Henry and Sam yet, but Henry and Sam obviously don't know them. But this is a huge gamble on Henry's part. He's really trying to like think of a way of how to survive this, and he knows he can't do it alone because he's not strong enough by himself to fight all of the citizens here in Kansas. So he's gonna take this time, and this is where we get a lot. This is where we get lots of like attention to detail. Where we get Henry has like been teaching Sam to like do things, how to hold a gun, how to do things. It's pretty cool. This is another scene how they get past Joel's trip is his trap basically, where we noticed your trap. We're gonna walk around the shavings, be really quiet, so we can sneak up on Joel and Ellie. This is where Joel wakes up. We get a really funny scene here with Sam and Henry. It's actually super hilarious. You see Pedro Pascal's brooding face with no emotion. This is super funny. So Henry has a gun on Ellie. Like, listen. And he even tells Joel, "This is my first time doing this. I have really no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but we're gonna try and get past this. Listen, we know you guys are here. We're gonna. Let me just. Can I just get the dialogue here? Let me get it. Yeah, this is great. So Henry asks him, "Everything's gonna be fine, right?" And then I'm gonna lower my gun after. Pedro's like, "Everything's great." You're like, What do you mean everything's great? What do you mean by that? The toady said it in, and Ellie just goes off like Joel doesn't know what he's talking about. Everything's great. He's always like that, you know. So it's just a really funny scene. It's pretty great. So this is the point where Henry's really trying to cooperate, trying to make a deal with Joel. Like, we're gonna put our guns down. We don't actually want to kill you. We want your help. And they're gonna have a nice discussion later. They're gonna be discussing what's happening. They're giving food to Sam and Henry. Obviously, they haven't eaten much. They've been 10 days. They haven't had much food. Now they're gonna. This is the point where they're gonna formulate a plan. Sam and Henry are gonna be going with Joel and Ellie. This is where they're getting to know each other as well. There's a lot of good dialogue. It's also nice that like Joel hasn't really lowered his guard. Ellie sort of has because there's a kid, but Joel also probably would have handled the situation way differently if Sam wasn't there. This is where like Joel's not actually a bad guy again, but he's done a lot of bad things. But he doesn't. If he was forced to, he probably would have killed Sam. He definitely would have killed Henry. These are just things that like Joel would do for Ellie and for himself to protect themselves from like outside threats. So we get a lot of good characterization from all of these characters together. They're really good, and their chemistry together is also really nice. So it's been the next morning. Henry knows the city. Joel doesn't. So this is where they're gonna formulate a plan. They're gonna go into the tunnels of where and this is actually important. And this is like we're getting like more in the tunnels. We get like more like scenes from the game. Now they're gonna go into the tunnels. They're gonna go. It's explained that Fedra has cleared out the tunnels like 3 years before. He has cleared out all the infected. Joel's like, well, 3 years. There could still be things down there, you know? And he's like, well, yeah, there might be a few clickers. Ellie explains that they fought those things, like the bat. You know, she says like the weird, the hearing bat guys with the covered faces who can't see. She's like, oh, you fought clickers? Yeah, two of them. And you survived. Well, we have the right people here. You guys are gonna help us a lot, clearly, because you. And it's known that like even just fighting, again, two clickers is like it's incredibly difficult. So their plan is to go into the tunnels to escape the citizens on the ground in order so they can escape. Now we get some other good scene. They're basically it's a gamble. It's a dicey plan. Joel points us out like we don't know what we're really getting into here. It's like this is all we have. We can't take it outside because we're definitely going to get caught then. So we have no choice but to run through the tunnels. We get other pieces of dialogue here that are like really good. So they go down. They go down in the tunnels. Henry's like, "Hey, there's nothing here. My plan was a success." Joel's like, "What are you talking about? We've been here for 2 seconds. We don't know what the fuck's up there. Just stay behind me, and I'll take care of it." Basically, so Joel's really like taking point in the tunnels. Now they don't actually encounter any infected in the tunnels, and I would expect actually, if you remember like the wire they explained it in episode 2, the weird fungus wire that's attached to all the infected. They explained that it like goes deep underground. So and if they were infected here long before, you'd think that there'd be some of that around, that like fungus, maybe decayed but still around, right? But it's just not. So this is where they're in the tunnels. This happens in the game too, where they're hiding from the people. It's not, the in the game it's different. Kathleen doesn't exist in the game, so they're just hiding from like random raiders that are trying to kill them. Now they go here. This is also in the game where they find this like little safe haven, and it's like a bunker where Joel explains that, oh yeah, there's lots of little bunkers like this all around. And I know people that have like been here before. He hasn't been in this specific bunker, obviously. So they get down here. They have a little, chatting time. This is where Henry tells Joel that it's my fault that this happened. I'm the one who ratted out Kathleen's brother to Fedra, and he did that. And this is where this is super important. We're getting into like things that are going to be important later on into the show, because I'm a game player. I know what happens. And if you're not a game player, you can probably assume that this is another parallel to like what's going to happen to with Joel and Ellie. And I don't want to spoil it if you haven't played the game, so I won't spoil it. But just say their conversation here is really like pushing the line between like what's moral, what are you allowed to do, and what's gonna like bite you back in the ass later because you did it. So like Henry's decision to save his brother and rat out Kathleen's rat out Kathleen's brother bites him in the ass now that Kathleen has effectively deposed Fedra and is now after Henry. So karma, eye for an eye, right? Henry is sort of distraught about his decision to do this. Like he doesn't think that what he did was right to save his brother to hurt all these other people, and essentially created this situation. But if you think about it, this situation probably would have happened anyway. The revolution was starting. It's just that Kathleen's brother wasn't taking like true initiative into that. I assume Kathleen would have like jumped in at some point to really, there would have been some sort of catalyst to start the revolution, right? Anyway, Henry is sad about his decision. Oh, and in this we get Ellie and Sam are having like lots of fun talking about comics with each other. There's this whole thing about endure, survive, which is the title of this episode, and it's prudent for the ending of this episode as well. We get those nice scenes. They have a little break here. They're gonna eventually. Oh, this is where we get like well, I feel like her acting is a bit weird in this episode. I don't know if it's just because of the character she's portraying or if she's just a bad actor. Some of the scenes, the dialogue here is sort of weird, but it's good dialogue though. Like she sold me on her performance later on when she's talking to him. This is the room, and this is again the explanation of why Kathleen is doing what she's doing. This is the room she grew up in with her brother. Her brother has been with her whole life and has been her protector. But told her that this room is like a box that nothing can hurt us. So it's really like telling us that her Kathleen's brother he was everything to her, and she will do anything to pay that back, right? So again, an eye for an eye. It's a really great scene of explaining Kathleen's motivations and why she's doing what she's doing. Now we're gonna go forward a little bit. So all that, there's tons of good dialogue in this scene. Just her acting is a bit wonky. I don't know why, but we can push past that. Now Joel, Sam, Henry, and Ellie, they get out of the tunnels. They're safe for now. And this is in the game. After getting through the tunnels, this is literally in the game, except it's daytime when this happens. They encounter, and this is literally like the set from the game. Like I was saying in the beginning, the sets are like almost one for one in the game. They just happen slightly differently, and they're amazing too. Like look at this set. Everything is believable and real here. It couldn't be. There's no CGI. Everything looks like they're like out actually like in the wilderness. They like created this set at some place. It's like big and introspective. Now they're walking through here. Uh, Sam, I'm sorry, Ellie is like, hey, listen, maybe we can have you two follow us with Wyoming. Sam and Henry are like, this mission was a success. Maybe we can maybe we'll just leave it at that. We don't have to go, with each other forever. And this is going to lead to, like, Ellie's like, well, Joel says no, but if I ask him a million times, he's going to say yes. And this is when the sniper hits them. And it starts right there, the sniper. So now this is actually from the game as well. So the sniper's attacking them. Again, we just get scenes, dialogue right from the game and from the situation. It's acted beautifully. Joel's going to take the initiative. He's going to tell our boys here, our group, to stay behind here. I'm going to go around. He's not a good shot. It's really dark. He can't see anything. And even though it is like everything's lit up, technically, even though it should be like pitch black. So that moon is real bright, boys. It's a really bright moon, right? Obviously, these scenes have to be a little exposed. It's either you have it be lit, but tell everyone that's really dark, even just so we can have this scene, or it'll be like the third episode of the season 8 of Game of Thrones where everything is so dark and you can't see shit and you don't know what the fuck is happening in any scene. But these scenes are like really clear and really pronounced, so we know everything that's happening. So Joel's gonna go around the cars, gonna go around the houses. He's gonna get to the sniper, and he's going to encounter the sniper. He finds out it's an old man. It's a random old man up here, literally attacking him. Now, in the game, this is a little different. There's a sniper. He's not old. He's young. He's just a raider. And Joel just, like, doesn't talk to the old man, the guy. He just immediately stabs the guy up there and fucking kills him. It's really gnarly in the scene in the game. Now, here it's a bit different. Joel's trying to plead with him. Like, listen, put your gun down. We'll give you an hour. We're going to take the gun, and I won't kill you. And he's like, please don't give me a reason to kill you. Obviously, the old man moves his gun towards Joel, and he has no choice but to shoot him. and it's pretty. I'd expect Joel to just honestly just kill it, but he gives him an out. I assume just because he's old, right? Um, Now Joel kills him. He finds out now the old man is a part of Kathleen's posse and was expecting them. He was expecting the old man to like find them and give a report on them, which he did before Joel got up there. So now Joel, uh, everyone's in trouble. So they've alerted Kathleen. Kathleen and the boys are coming. He's trying to signal to them. They can't really hear him because he's too far away, but they can see them. So they're gonna start running soon. Joel's gonna start firing. He has infinite ammo in this scene, by the way, in this entire situation that's gonna happen. Infinite ammo, like Herschel's gun in The Walking Dead. Pretty funny. Um, Joel, Sam, Ellie, and Henry, they're running away from this. We get a nice scene here. This is going to be important later. This is a super tense situation. All these like soldiers are here. Now all we need is the undead to come around and start fucking everything up, right? Wouldn't that be great? We get before that happens though, and that does happen. We get a scene here where basically Henry, Sam, and Ellie are trapped with all these dudes, and Joel can't really fire upon any of them. Kathleen appeals to Henry. Listen, come out without a fight. I'm going to kill you anyway. It's so like she is not taking any shit from anybody, and I like her merciless. She is a villain right now in this episode. She is a villain. She's going to kill these kids. She knows, like, it's like you would really like. Henry's like, listen, don't kill the kids. I'll come out alone. Kathleen's like, no, I have to kill the kids. I have no choice but to kill them. Kids die all the time now. It's just a thing that happens in our world. This is the way things go here. Henry, you did a thing to me that it was personally horrible to me. I have to repay that favor to you. An eye for an eye, Henry. And this is how it works. Now, before they can do anything, Henry does come up, almost like resigned to his death, and the house is like on fire. Now, remember the last episode? We saw like the sinkhole or the ground of the granite, maybe not granite, but the cement was bulging upward. Now, I thought the infected would just like be in the tunnels though. So like, where were they? How did they know they were here? I'm a little confused about how that worked. But the sinkhole is going to appear now, right here where the truck comes in. And we're finally going to get a massive infected army rise out of everywhere. Things go nuts, dude. It's crazy how this thing works. Everybody starts shooting. It's mass hysteria, panic everywhere. Obviously, their bullets like do something. But as like everybody starts getting like picked off one by one, it gets harder to start like killing all these infected, right? And this is a massive like tense scene here. The infected are just killing everybody. Shooting's happening. Our boy Joel is going on like eagle eye mode. He doesn't miss like a shot that he needs to. He's like putting in work later a few seconds in where he's just killing the infected around our guys here as they're running away. He's just popping them off one by one. He's not missing a shot. Really doing a good job. Bella Ramsey here, just a good scene of like massive panic. She's acting really good here. So Ellie's having like tons of trouble here, just trying to find a way she can get away from all these infected. So she finds a car. Joel sees what she's up to. She's gonna kill all the goons in her path. And we get a scene. I didn't think that would happen. Normally shows don't do this anymore. Even movies, they don't normally show like children zombies. They just don't do that because it's like cruel in some way. They don't have most shows don't have the balls to just show kids. So we're gonna see. Before that even, we finally get our scene of the bloater. This is where CGI comes from. And when this happens, when they see the bloater, Joel, Kathleen, and Tommy over there, they all seem to know what's going on. They all seem to like, oh shit, it's a fucking bloater. He's like, get away now. Here comes the bloater. We all know what this means. This thing is Incredible. Look at this scene. Horror. Absolute horror. And he knows it's like, we cannot stop this. It is basically a bullet sponge. They don't have, bombs to kill this thing. Obviously, it doesn't like release spores like it does in the game. In the game, the bloaters like release spores it can attack you with, but it's obviously still a massive threat. And everything here is gets pretty crazy. So he takes the time. He's like, all right, fucking bear, dude. It is murking people, just absolutely, until it finally. I'm not sure how much of this I can actually play, but yeah, he basically tells her to run, go away. I'll deal with the bloater. He doesn't do well though. The bloater just sort of rips his fucking head off when he can't do it. Gruesome. Absolutely gruesome. She's running away terrified. Absolutely. So this is really like this is a really good instance of how the world ended up this way. These things are a threat. It's not like your normal zombie. These things can tank bullets. They can still die to bullets, right? But they're still massively powerful when you have things like these that can just rip off, the head of a human, right? These things take more bullets to kill anyway. So it's a massive threat. So this is where we get into the child clicker. Joel sees it like, holy shit, I gotta kill this thing. I didn't think they'd do this, like a child clicker, right? That's pretty gruesome and scary. Ellie basically runs away from the thing because it senses her and knows she's there. She gets away. She's going to go to find Henry and Sam. Joel's gonna keep like eagle eyeing all of these infected that are trying to kill her. Ellie's gonna bob and weave through everything. Obviously, Ellie's like safe from being infected, so she can get like clawed or bit, and she won't, die to infection. But she can still get like fucked up by the clickers. Like they can still like beat her to death. The bloater could still like rip her fucking head off. So it can get like pretty gruesome. In this scene here, this is uh a very unfortunate scene where we see our two group members being attacked. This comes into play later. I'm sure you can all guess what happens. Obviously, one of them gets infected. Um, yeah, this also like happens in the game. So Ellie helps them out, helps get them out of there. They obviously don't know that they're infected. They're gonna run away now to where Joel is. They're gonna get out of there. Fortunately for them, Kathleen happens upon them. They have some nice dialogue. We're like, look at this scene. Look what's happened, Henry. It's the end for you. Unfortunately for Kathleen, the kid zombie comes up behind her. Oh, jumps and just look at the beating it does. It just like flaps her with its hands. It's kind of crazy how it does it. It's so cool. That scene where I don't even know how to explain it. It's so funny looking, but it's like actually doing damage to her. And Kathleen's dead now. She got her own comeuppance. Kathleen's done a lot of wrong, per se. All of the things she did made sense for the situations she was a part of. But this is the end of her story. Kathleen is dead here. Pretty much everybody here is dead, actually. Our group here is are the only ones who get away from this situation. They run and hide, and you can just tell that all these infected are going to go back to the city where all the other citizens are and probably just overrun them and kill them. Their main gun force is probably here. They probably don't have much security in the city right now, so all those people there are probably dead to the infected. Just quite sad. So, and this is a cool scene here. Again, just the infected running over shit. It's in the bloater walking slowly. Now, in the game, they go somewhere different. They don't go to like this weird motel. I believe they go to a lighthouse, I think it is. They hide at a lighthouse from all the raiders and the situation they ended up. But now they're talking now. This is we get some good pieces of dialogue here. They're also like just one for one from the game. So the adaptation is super faithful in some circumstances. Joel and Henry are talking about, listen, Henry, we're going to let you come to Wyoming with us. We're basically friends now. it's pretty cool. Henry's along with it. So Henry, Ellie, and they're like both. This probably wouldn't have happened if Sam wasn't there, right? Joel probably wouldn't let Henry come with them if he didn't have a kid with him, right? So this is like Joel's. Because he was a dad before, these are like his protector instincts. He's like, okay, I can help you guys. We can help each other. I want to protect these kids, you know. But he doesn't tell them about like Ellie's condition. Of course, I'm sure if they did end up going to Wyoming together, that would have happened. There would have been a conversation about that, but that doesn't happen. We'll get into that. So we get into the conversation between Ellie and Sam. Obviously, Sam can't talk, but he talked with like his little device there that has like magnets in it. It's like one of those kids' toys that lets you like you flip it and then you can write again. It's not like paper. So they're talking about Sam was asking Ellie like, "You don't seem. Why aren't you ever scared?" And this is a one from the game where Ellie's like, "Of course I'm scared. I'm scared all the time." And she jokes a little bit. I'm scared of scorpions. Like Sam's like, I'm not. You tell the truth to me. She's like, I'm scared of being alone. So we get a lot of great characterization here from Ellie and Sam and what they're doing. Now this is slightly different from the game. Now again, Sam is. We find out Sam's going to tell her. He talks about the monster. Do you think the people are still inside, even though the monsters are outside? Ellie's like, I don't really know. I don't really think they're there, and we kind of have to kill them. Sam shows her that he is bit, and it's a really emotional. There it is. Yeah, I'm scared of being alone, and he's scared of like the monster. What it he's scared of being infected, and so we find out that he shows her his fucked up leg. Let me get that scene there. There it is. He shows her. So Sam was infected. He got bit during that time he was under the car. This is really sad. Ellie decides to show him her infection scars. Obviously, she actually tells him she's immune, and she does this weird thing where you should never actually do this. And Ellie wouldn't know what to do this. She just thinks she's immune, and she can maybe transfer her blood to him in a way to maybe make this is probably at least not like a doctor, so she wouldn't know the risks of like putting your blood into someone else. Obviously there's two things here. One, there's like risk of infection, you don't know, and risk of a disease as well. Putting your blood into someone else's blood, you don't know what they have. You can like catch something. um, Also, you can just die from putting someone's blood type that's not your own inside their blood. She doesn't know about blood types, obviously, probably. Well, she might. It's not explicitly clear. We can probably assume she doesn't know that because she's not a doctor, and Federer probably wouldn't teach her that. I don't know, but she decides to put her, just rub her own blood on him in the hopes that this would cure him. So Sam asks her to stay up with him all night. And Ellie's like, obviously I will. Unfortunately, she falls asleep during the night. After watching him, she doesn't stay up all night. And then we get to another gruesome scene. I'll let it play out here, where Ellie tries to talk to him. Now, in the game, it's different. They don't sleep in the same room together. Sam and Ellie sleep in different rooms, and then Ellie goes into that room, finds Sam infected, like right now. Ellie finds him, wakes him up, infected, runs through the door, wakes up Joel and Henry. There's a huge commotion. They're like, what the fuck's going on? Sam's infected. Henry grabs the gun, stops Joel from doing what he needs to do. This is an amazing scene, but it's so heartbreaking. I I would have cried if I didn't watch it already from the game. Henry's like, no, fucking stay back. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Even though Ellie's like in a precarious situation, about to die. Bam! Henry shoots Sam. Ellie's crying about what's happened. Sam is in like bewilderment. And there's the dialogue in this scene, again, one for one from the game. Henry's like, what did I just do? That was my brother. Stay away from me. What did I do? I don't know what to do. Joel's like, calm down, Sam. Calm down. Give me the gun. Just calm down. Give me the gun, Henry. This is such a sad scene. We're gonna push through it. Henry is absolutely distraught at what he did. He killed his brother. Um, Unfortunately for Joel and Ellie, and he basically has no life anymore. He spent his entire life protecting him, and now he has nothing left. His brother's dead, so he takes it upon himself to end his life. He Minecrafts himself in The Last of Us, scaring the hell out of Ellie and scaring the hell out of Joel. This is obviously a super intense scene here where Henry just takes his life now, unalives himself right in front of them. This happens in the game as well. It actually cuts to black in the game. It doesn't cut to black here. But Ellie cries about what's happened. Obviously, they didn't want any of this to happen. It's just they've just started getting to know each other. They were gonna go together to Wyoming. Now they can't. This is the end of Sam and Henry's story now. They take it upon themselves to bury them. Joel buries them. Ellie asks Joel, "Which way is Wyoming?" Points that way. Ellie walks away. Ellie's like, "All right, we're going to Wyoming then," and they leave a "I'm sorry" note to them. Obviously, they didn't want this to happen. Man, such a fucking great episode, and that's the end. So next episode, we're probably gonna get introduced to Tommy. Who knows how long Tommy's gonna be there for? Maybe 2 episodes. This episode really pushed like what the morals of this world, and it's gonna be very important for later when we get introduced to another character that's probably gonna have a cameo in the last episode. I'm gonna assume. Who knows how they're gonna do it right? If but this is just another great episode. The sets, the characters, the dialogue, the story, what happened here, and the situations that have been happening in the world. Ellie and Joel coming closer together, Joel being like the father figure for Ellie and the relationship. And it's all gonna culminate into what's gonna happen. I don't want to spoil it for those people who haven't played the game, but it's gonna be amazing, honestly. So I love this episode. It's another great episode. This show has been killing it. All 5 episodes have been really great, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. I have maybe some worries about Abby. If you know about Abby, I'm thinking that's the cameo I was talking about. Abby might be in the cameo, and I have some worries about what they're gonna do there. I'm gonna give the show the benefit of the doubt that they're gonna change some things around to make it work better because there's so much bad reception about The Last of Us 2, the video game, and they've been like fixing some things and moving things around that are gonna, I believe, are the intentions to make The Last of Us 2 better in some ways, right? Fix those issues. So I'm gonna give the show the benefit of the doubt that they're gonna handle those situations correctly, and it will be done correctly, and it's gonna be better, hopefully, and it'll be a better adaptation in that way, toward the end. So I love this episode again. I'm done rambling. This has probably been a really long review. It's an amazing episode, so I had to go all in on it. I had to try to do each scene anyway. So I hope you guys liked it. I'm done now. Have a nice day, guys. See ya.